How would you I know you said that people ask you that and it's kind of a broad question, but for somebody who's a photographer and they're shooting their local shows, they're going to concerts, they're posting it online, and their goal is to go from that to touring with somebody. How do they go from that position to being on tour with somebody and conveying that, hey, I'm a good hang? Is it all about, meeting somebody that does VIP and kind of finding your way in that way? Or what do you suggest to people, if anything at all?
Yeah, I think there's a few different ways, and that's the hard thing to say. It's not like you started a company and you work your way up. It's like,
Yep.
okay, maybe you meet a manager and you click with that manager and you become friends, and then you get a tour literally 7 years later. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, people don't realize that just because you meet someone and they have a job opening, it doesn't mean you're going to get it. Like, I'm getting random jobs from people I've never gotten a job from, but I've met 10 years ago. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you've watched me grow for 10 years and now finally you're ready to pull the trigger. Cool. You know what I mean? I'm here. I'm here for that. That's the thing is there's no one way. I just tell people network and be cool. Like, be a real person.
Yeah.
Like, just be real and give them what they don't know they need, and then they will find a way to keep you around. I remember I actually started touring with Newfound Glory. They were having a book come out,
Okay.
and there was it's like all their shows, all old flyers and stuff. And they go, "We want to take you on Warp Tour, but just for this one tour. It's to promote the book and that's it." And I was like, "Cool." And then I was like, "Whatever, dude. Like, I'm going to make this a full-time thing." And I
Yeah.
did,
You're
because
gonna you're gonna need me. I get it. You're
you're
gonna
gonna
make that.
love this shit. And that's that. And they did. So it's a progression. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna be this band's photographer for 10 years. It's like, oh, let's take a step. Like, get to photograph their show once. And then if they like the photos, maybe you'll do it again. And then maybe you can ask to go out for a week. And then maybe you'll go out for a tour. But people are just like, I want to go on tour. You can do merch and also take photos. That's one way as well.
Yeah, double up, find a job where they could, maybe they can't afford a photographer, but they can afford a merch person, and then you can take
Yeah,
photos.
exactly.
And so, I mean, if you were to rate, I think the best way to think of it is, and maybe you can agree or disagree, is your photos kind of get their attention, but then what really gets you the gig is who you are. And like you said, sometimes it takes 10 years. Do you think that's just people kind of keeping track, vibing like, oh, she's touring or they're touring with so and so? How long have they been with them? Okay, well, if they can tour with this person for that long, they're probably a good hang. Let's try them out. Does it just take a while?
I think so. I think that also it's so weird because I was also talking with my boyfriend Eric about this, of how the bands that you're associated with might as well be you. Like, people see like, oh, they worked with, she worked with Godsmack. So she'd be good for Disturbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like not really the case, which kind of sucks. But a lot of the time you're represented by the bands that you're working for, which is weird. But say, like, I worked with Marilyn Manson for a few tours, and I still keep it on my resume because I want people to know that I'm tough.
You dealt with.
Yeah.
We don't
Like,
have to get into that
I
too
can deal with
deeply,
that.
but I
I did
understand what
quit.
you're saying.
Exactly.
Taking that information and knowing that you're kind of represented or associated with or branded by the people that you tour with, more or less, is there, have you turned down jobs because of this, because of people's perception for people? Or are you just very mindful of what jobs you take?
Honestly, like, I don't judge a book, because if I did, I would everyone says like, "Oh, Sully's the worst," like a Godsmack. And dude, he's not. He's awesome. Like,
I never said that, just to be clear.
yeah. Sully from Godsmack. And he's awesome. And if I took any sort of, oh yeah, this person's bad advice, I wouldn't work with anyone, because everyone
Yeah.
has something to say, that where someone was in a bad mood one day and then I got a bad rap. So yeah, I try to, keep an open mind with that sort of thing. And then if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. But I've never really come across that where it's so bad, except Manson, which I did quit. But that's really the only one, honestly.